Massive trigger warning for thalassophobia and submechanophobia, as well as mild gore maybe. I love being at the beach, walking a bit in the water, finding cool seashells and rocks, just laying on a towel and maybe take a nap or enjoy the sunset with a drink. It's nice on a hot day. Since I'm a goth, I often underestimate the weather and overheat, so the beach is nice because I can cool off in the water. But I will never ever swim in the ocean again. I've always had a fear of deep water. It freaks me out, especially since the ocean here in Norway is pitch black and you can't see anything below you or around you. Every time I went swimming when I was a kid, my stomach would drop and I would start freaking out. That unsettling feeling it gives me makes my skin crawl. It's not something I can even describe properly. People think I'm overreacting when I say the closest word I could put for it is panic, but I'm not. What is underneath me? What am I sharing this water with? What if something just grabs me and drags me underneath? Drowning is a painful way to go. It's safe to say I've avoided deep water as much as I can. Last summer, I was with my friends, and we decided to go to the beach since it was so hot that day. When we arrived, I laid out my towel and changed into my bikini. And time went by of all of us just chatting and having fun. Someone even brought alcohol. So after some time went by, we were all pretty tipsy. Then, one of my friends suggested we should swim out to a floating bridge in the middle of the ocean. It was pretty far out, and I could feel my heart beating faster just looking at it. Floating bridges have always creeped me out. It just doesn't sit right with me. Why would it just be there? What is underneath it? Objects in water freak me out so badly. But everyone agreed and said it would be fun, and so I watched them all run into the water. I hesitated, and my friends started cheering for me to join them. At that point, I was already beginning to feel my throat getting tighter and my panic meter begin to rise. But I didn't want to ruin the mood, so I told myself to woman up. It's just water, you'll be fine. It's a 7-minute swim at most, maybe less if you go fast. You'll be fine, stop being a pussy. I stood up and began walking towards the water. My friend began dragging my arm, telling me to hurry up as the others had already began swimming towards it. I started swimming. Surprisingly, I'm a very good swimmer. It's a shame I'll never be able to use that talent. I swam to the point I couldn't stand anymore. Then a bit more. And a bit more. I was halfway to the bridge when I stopped in the water to take a breath. I had underestimated how far it was. Most of my friends were already on the bridge, goofing off and throwing each other into the water, splashing water on each other. I began swimming again after gathering myself until my foot got stuck. Not just my foot, half my fucking leg. From the tips of my toes to slightly above my knee, stuck inside something tight and painful. At first, I just tried to pull my leg out. I'm pretty skinny, average, so I thought I could just wiggle my leg out with no problem before panic set in. I was so wrong. My leg was entirely jammed inside the pipe. I couldn't move. I couldn't pull it out. Plus, the alcohol made my body weaker. I was stuck. I began hyperventilating. I was too scared to even scream. I was just there, hyperventilating in the middle of the ocean, stuck inside something unknown. I couldn't see due to the water being too dark. I realized after a minute or so whatever I was stuck in wasn't alive, so I gathered my thoughts and felt around with my hand. It was a rusted metal pipe. A metal pipe that seemed like it got more narrow as it went down, that my leg had somehow slipped into, and I was now stuck. I finally registered what was happening and began screaming, but my friends were too far away and were screaming too much themselves to hear me. Not in horror like me, though. I could feel my airways close up and my head begin to swim, not just from the alcohol. It felt like all my blood was being drained from my body. My guts tangled themselves in a knot, and at that moment I thought I was going to die, and I wasn't sure if it was from a heart attack, oxygen deprivation from hyperventilating, drowning, or something in the water. I was stuck in a rusty pipe, in the middle of the fucking ocean. That was the only thought inside my head, nothing else. I couldn't focus on anything else than that. It was as if my whole world was narrowed down to my current situation, and I felt a sense of impending doom fill me. What if there was something living inside the pipe? As if the situation wasn't terrifying enough already, I noticed the water around me changing color. Despite the darkness of it, I could tell it had a warmer tint to it. Blood. I was fucking bleeding. I didn't know from where or why or what caused it. I began trying to pull my leg out again, absolutely panicking. There aren't even a lot of sharks in Norway, but who knows? Things can come in from other waters. There have been cases of sharks found in foreign waters before. My head began pounding again, thinking back to all the cases of washed-up giant octopuses I had read about in Norway. Greenland sharks, eels, orcas. As I kept moving, the blood just kept coming on. I was stuck there bleeding like crazy, and I didn't even know from where. Did I get my period in the water? Did something attack me? What the fuck happened? The water was too cold to feel anything anyways, or maybe I was just in such a state of panics. Body ignored the stinging pain in my leg. Eventually, one of my friends finally noticed me having a full-blown panic attack there and rushed over to help me. She went underwater, and after what felt like forever, she finally got my leg out of the pipe. That was the most freeing moment in my life. I could have kissed her right there if it wasn't for the fact I was so scared. When she came up for air again, she looked concerned. "Your leg is all fucked up. Are you okay? What happened? Hello?" I don't even remember what happened after that. The aftermath was a blur. I was dissociating and just staring off into space as if I had just been traumatized, which, in all honesty, I kinda was. All I remember is ending up on that bridge with all my friends examining my leg. It was nasty. I had deep cuts on my feet, and my lower leg had a cut so deep it was showing that layer of flesh that looks like beans. Blood was gushing out all over the bridge. I was panicking still. What if something in the water smelled the blood and was now waiting for me to get back in? After a while of back and forth, my friends convinced me to get back into the water and to swim back to land so I could find something to stop the bleeding. I was already lightheaded from 3 things at once: alcohol, anxiety, and anemia. Due to how much I had moved around, I was on the verge of passing out, something that often happens to me on a daily basis. Even simple things like standing up too fast make me woozy. I hesitantly dipped back into the water and swam as fast as I possibly could back to land. When I emerged from the water, I still remember the horrified stares of the families and other people at the beach. I swear I even saw some parents cover their kids' eyes. Probably because my entire leg was covered in blood and I had a gaping wound across my lower leg. As I was drying up and trying to process what the actual hell just happened, I could see parents taking their kids out of the water and telling them not to go in the water while looking around. Worriedly, some even shot me some dirty looks as if it was my fault that happened to me. I still think about this event a lot, and every time I look at that scar on my leg, I'm reminded of that day. I now realize I probably just cut myself on the metal pipe while struggling to get out of it. But for a while, I was convinced there was something in the pipe that had been eating at my flesh. My mind had a field day making up images what that creature could have looked like. So, this is why I never go swimming anymore. No need to thank me for giving you a new fear. Yes, this is a 100% real story that happened to me. I wish I was making this up. It was terrifying and made my submechanophobia, thalassophobia, 10 times worse than it already was. Also, I would like to add a special fuck you to whoever decided to dump that pipe in the ocean.